Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Lately I've been doing too much of tech review. Okay, but anyways, I have to keep my channel alive. So yeah, now if you have checked into this video, you must be looking for Android Go. That's what we are here to talk about, my experience for the past 1 year with Android Go. Now the backstory starts like this. I was having this phone J7 Max and I got it cracked during shooting a vlog for my social media detox back in lockdown. And moreover, having such a bad screen, reading text and looking at pictures, everything was completely distorted. Although it performs quite good, so I was like having it to play games on this. I play Mortal Kombat, by the way. I was looking for phones in the market. I was quite budget conscious also within the 10k mark. I got this phone, the J2 Core, because it says it gets Android Go Oreo edition. Now Android Go, for the people who doesn't know what Go stands for, it's basically a stripped down version of the full-blown Android, especially tailor-made for such low-end devices which have low in memory and are low in storage. So there you go, that's the theory here. Now how good is it in practical? That's what we are going to find out. It gets 1 GB of RAM and 16 gigs of internal storage. UI, that's the main concern when it comes to stock Android phones, because the device, in terms of its hardware, it's low end, and the software, it's also stripped down. So the UI has to be stock Android. And if you're a stock Android fan, by the way, please comment down below. I'm also a fan. Now, if you see here the UI, it's pretty simple and it's quite minimal. You just get simple apps made by Google, no bloatwares of whatever, except for 3. The Galaxy apps. I never touched this app store. I don't know like why Samsung has put it inside this. I tried even disabling it, not working. I have to root the entire phone, and same goes saying to the Samsung Internet Lite, no use, and the Samsung members. These 3 apps I can root it and put it to disable mode, but again, rooting phone, it's quite a dicey process, very risky, because you end up in not receiving any security patch updates if the company is looking forward to roll out one soon. So yeah, I had to stay back to the option of just keeping the apps unused. Yeah, I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, having Kano wallpaper. This is the Google widget. Now the search keeps changing frequently. Now it's a pretty interesting feature because if I click on this widget, it opens the Google app. By the way, it's a Go version. The apps made by Google in this phone which are built in are suffixed by the word Go, which means it's again stripped down. It's not like you are only forced to use this. You can install the full-blown version, but it's always better to use this because your phone, in terms of its hardware, it's only capable of that capacity. If you see here, you get the top searched ones throughout the world, and right below I get my history, and I can search through Google Lens, incognito mode, just the standard features, voice search and blah blah blah. Talking of the applications, Google made applications which I get on this Android Go phone, sorry. I get Chrome full blown. I was expecting a light version, but it's not there. Assistant is in a Go version. The Assistant and the Google Go has, of course, the speech recognition which you all are familiar with. On the full blown Android phone, it also gets music search. Like for instance, if I'm somewhere outside, I get to find a fascinating music. I could just hit on the voice search button and I can click on what music is this. It finds the music for me. Very handy, right, for music lovers, but it's not working on this. I don't know why Google didn't include this feature. I hope Google, if you're listening me, include this. Music lovers really dig it very badly. I get Files app made by Google here. Now if I open this up, thanks to dark mode, I get the first section called as the Clean. In Clean, I can delete my duplicate files. I can delete my WhatsApp media, unused WhatsApp media. I can delete Bluetooth media if they are quite large in size. It would just pick randomly the large files which are quite space consuming, and it would give us a suggestion to delete it. Now if you want to delete, then you can go, or else you could just swipe it up and say not to show again or not to show for the next 7 days. So it's gone. And yes, it also sort of works like a disk cleanup which you see in your Microsoft Windows. Now I can click on Clean here, and there you go, it's clean. So I get some extra space. I can browse through, quite simple, easy to navigate, user friendly. I get share option also. I can share it files like music, videos or whatever to another phone which also has the same files app. It works quite similar to share it. And I also get the Gallery Go, and this Gallery Go app and the Files app, I find them to be quite tightly integrated, because there are some phones where the files will show some information but it misses out on the gallery, but nothing of that sort. It's pretty simple. Now for instance, if I click an image here, I can edit it. I have different effects. I can crop it, I can rotate it, and there you go. Even when it comes to videos, I can trim the length of videos. So you just get some basic stuff, which is quite nice. Gmail and the Maps Go. Gmail, it runs, I guess, the web version. Maps, it also runs the same web version, which means the Chrome is running in background if you are navigating to some place. Once I was lost, I was quite skeptical to use this Maps Go, because the full-blown version works like a charm. This one being emulating through the internet, I was quite doubtful, like, will it be able to navigate me properly? And yeah, it was surprisingly good and sharp like the full-blown app. YouTube Go. This, I would say, it's sort of a controversial app for this phone, because if I click on a video, I get three modes: data saver, standard quality, and high quality. Now if I click on the standard quality itself, it plays. The weird thing which I get here is I can't like, I can't dislike, I can share though, I can download, but I can't comment, especially for those people who are quite explosively reactive on YouTube. They would like to immediately like or dislike or just ask some questions if they see something quite interesting on the video. It can't happen. You have to either go through the browser, and it's a very complex process. So YouTube Go, Google could have made it a little bit better. That's my only concern. The Google Play Music, yes, it's a news which was quite buzzing around the time, like it was closing down. There are some songs which I can't find on Spotify, I can't find on other streaming services. I can see it only on YouTube, but I can't keep opening YouTube all the time to just hear that one song. And sometimes I'm such a fanatic for music that I just keep it in a single repeat mode, like around 40-50 times. That's how crazy I go. It just keeps running and running and running till I get bored to the max level. Google Play Music was a lifesaver for me. Like, I could just download that music in the audio format from the video and it would keep running. But at one fine point, I was forced to install YouTube Music on this. And the worst part, what I would say, is like for every 2 weeks, I find YouTube Music updating, like 9 MB, 5 MB, 7 MB, 12 MB. It just keeps going on and on and on. That's the only app which is kind of concerning my storage space, because it's only 16 GB, as I told you. I hope it doesn't eat much. It's also very not much user friendly. Like if I click the lock screen if I click the lock button accidentally, the music just shuts off. If I exit the app without completely closing it or letting it to run on background, the music would just stop. Like, I have so many disadvantages with this app. I can't use Google Music anymore. Like, Google has done such a stupid thing. That's what I would say in just a single sentence. The third point, the performance and the battery. Now, being low on spec, low on software, and the battery should also come out for a good while, because during the launch of Android Go, Google had promised that it would give an optimal battery for these kind of low-end devices. Now, I might sound subjective here, because for me, battery backup on this phone has been like decent, or sometimes to the worst extent, it's okay-ish. It has only a 5-inch screen, nothing too much big, and it just has a 2600 mAh battery. Yes. Now for that, it should fetch me some good backup. I don't know, like maybe is there a problem with the battery slowly deteriorating over time, or is it something to do with the settings? Because if I were to keep a dark mode completely throughout the phone, that could have helped marginally by a little bit, but unfortunately I have to go and customize it to every app and not all apps. Like for instance, the contacts app, the messaging app, the calendar app, which are built in through the Samsung UI, they don't have any dark modes. They have to run on the complete bright white mode. So I have also installed a keyboard called Bitmoji keyboard. These stickers, I find it quite fascinating. I was quite doubtful that will it slow down my typing experience, will it slow down my entire phone of that sort. No, it's fine, it's just getting good. I also have Google keyboard on this, by the way, as the built-in one. It's been a long while I'm not using it because I'm quite addicted to these stickers. One more important concern when it comes to Android is updates. Unlike iOS, the devices will be kind of sustained for a long time. Android, The caveat here is the lower your device is in terms of the specifications and software, it is not gonna be future proofed. Out of the box, within a month or so, I got a patch update which lasted for like July 2020, and I guess I'm just gonna reach almost a year in July 2021. It's almost March, the time when I'm recording this video. You can't expect to receive a software update on such a low-end phone like this. The current version for this phone, by the way, is Android Oreo 8.1.0. Slowly it's evolving to Android Pie also. I guess the Android Go Pie version is also available on some phones. This phone, I openly mentioned, not for gaming. If you're that person who just wants to browse your social media, not like clicking a lot of pics. Even the camera on this, it's mediocre. Browsing your internet, browsing your social media, watching YouTube videos here and there. Now for me, I'm not much of a YouTube person on the phone, so I just switched to my computer. Listen to a lot of music and check your WhatsApp. This phone should be completely okay for you. So should you go for this phone? I mean, not this phone, like any other Android Go phone. Now first up, I'd like to appreciate Google for making this strong step of having a stripped down version of Android for those budget phones, because day by day, for such a very low price like this, I got it for like 6,000 bucks. If I had put on extra 3,000 plus, I could have gone for the Samsung M series, the M01 back at that time. Which had Android 9 or Android 10, I guess. The idea of having a low version of Android only for those people who just want the basic needs from a phone but still not missing on a smartphone. Yeah, this phone, I think for those budget lovers, should be a complete sweet deal for you. Comment down below if you have any questions. And yeah, this is Sai Ram signing off. Bye bye.